Welcome back to the ESL Pro League here at the Xfinity Analyst Desk. My name is Moses. I'm hosting this show tonight. We're going to have SK Gaming taking on Immortals in just a second, but if you're going to come to any of our live events coming up soon, ESL 1 New York, IEM Oakland, make sure you get your jersey. You're there to support your teams. Plenty of SK and Immortal jerseys in stock for all you crazy fans trying to get your hands on those. It's shop.eslgaming.com. We'll see you at one of our arenas coming up soon. Now, on to the action tonight for Pro League. I'm here with James and Cbble, our two lovely analysts.
Oh, thank
you. So
you.
much knowledge about to be thrown out.
Yeah. Finally, you used the word I requested.
It's in your contract?
Yeah.
See, you got to start negotiating those things.
Yeah, I want to be lovely.
We'll get there.
You are lovely.
Thank you.
Well, let's check out the Immortals roster. We haven't seen these guys yet, if I recall correctly. We didn't see them this week, did we? No, we didn't.
I think they're 0-0. So.
Cool. Well, here it is. These are the finalists of the major. Second place for them: Henny, Lucas, Bolt, Steel, and KNG. KNG, a new addition before the major, and just officially signed right after it. And you know, we'll just bring it up now and get it out of the way. There were those roster rumors that report this lineup was looking at kind of splitting up in some degree, but it's not happening now. Who knows if it will happen in the future. We're just going to operate like this is a fully fledged team for this season, and these guys are dangerous. They have a lot of skill on this roster.
Yeah, I mean, it would have been a shame if they were to break up, right? Like Gambit and Immortals.
The two
changes their roster before playing another match, right? Like, that would be a shame.
Damn shame.
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 Shame. But you know what? Let's hopefully the rumors aren't true. That they're gonna just hug it out. It's gotta hug it out sometimes, and maybe take each other out for dinner, have a talk, have a good time.
Seafood dinner.
Seafood dinner.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, here's the thing: they're gonna have to do a lot of hugging it out, perhaps after this match, because SK Gaming is nothing to slouch at. And this is going to be just equally dangerous in the lineup. I mean, Cold and Fur, if they play like they did last night, who knows what's going to happen? This could just be a wash again. Those two guys able to turn the tides, but fun things always happen when there's Brazilians playing against Brazilians in Counter-Strike.
Yeah, whenever the domestic matchup happens, people see there's like more of like the meta, right? Like you kind of know how each other plays, so you know the matches could be a little closer than they would be otherwise. And also to note, this is the third night in a row that SK's played Cbble, so
they love it. Yeah,
so it could go both ways, right? It could be SK has their Cbble more drawn out, or it could be Immortals has a little bit more data to go off of. So
this is a map of Immortals to show that something of the major to be good at. I'm going to do something hosts probably should never do. I might throw you guys under the bus here, but I see Eric with his notebook out. Do you guys know how much this matchup has gone towards SK or towards Immortals? You know what the split might be on their head?
Well, the split is SK. Oh, you're talking about the map or just the total matchup here?
Just total matchup.
So SK's up 15-4.
Ooh.
So that's pretty lopsided.
That's a smackdown.
That's a smackdown.
Yeah.
That's like you when you go out at night. You get like 15 yeses and like 4 nos, right? Or is it the other way around?
No, it's you know what I'm saying.
I wish we had odds on that because likely that's not true. But we'll pull up the odds for at least this first map, which, like we said, is going to be Cobblestone. And there it is. SK, pretty decent favorites.
Yeah, not bad.
It's not bad at all.
Still pretty close. We feeling comfortable with that? You guys feeling comfortable with that?
I think maybe, yeah. Well, we haven't seen Immortals yet this season, so. And SK has been, other than that first match against Team Liquid, they've been literally stomping people in, just slaying them down.
It seemed like a warm-up map to them, that first match of the season, didn't it? Now it's like a whole different SK we've got going on. What like this Cbble for Immortals? We talked about on SK how much they love it, but I mean, like I said, this seems to be a map that Immortals is really enjoying. They were good on it at the major, and the crazy thing about it is with Henny, with KNG, those Oppers, once they get that B platform control as terrorists, those Oppers just control that portion of the map.
Yeah, for Immortals, the couple of things that I like to see in the past is they would take control of that B platform, and then they would send a couple people down drop area, but without nades. It's almost like a contact. So they would like shoot one shot as someone is falling down, and then kind of sneak on through in there. Sometimes they even send hand one with an op in the drop area's terrace, and I like those kind of like contact plays.
That putting the op down into drop zone is actually kind of like a common response that a lot of teams will use if the CTs are effective at getting B plat control, right? Because then you're actually going to be giving up resources in drop as a CT, and then that means that you're probably going to be watching the E-box side of drop from plat, and then that opper has the advantage there if you're an op in drop towards that peak. So I actually thank you for pointing that out. It's one of my favorite little like adjustments.
I could read your mind. I like you a lot too.
There's a lot of synergy on this desk right now.
It's good. It's like a carousel.
Palpable.
Yeah, all good things.
All good things. Oh, I like that word.
Yeah,
I like orange juice.
Not pulp.
It's too good, isn't it? Let's go to SK, because we actually, like you said, we've seen them on Cbble now. This is going to be the third day in a row. Plenty of information to go off of with what they're going to do on Cbble. And again, I mean, you pointed out, I think, James, on one of the days about how much they like drop. And it's not necessarily with the AWPs, but they love battling for that drop control. Is that going to be like the main point of contention we're going to see in this map?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't always have to even be a point of contention, too. Another way that people don't necessarily use drop enough is just for information finding, right? Like, if I'm chilling top drop and I'm not peeking, right, I can hear people running through connector, right? A lot of, like, you know, you can be kind of like, oh, I feel safe. You know, they're not down drop. I can run from A to B and rotate. And now coldzera's like, hey, guys, they moved an extra person to A, and now we already know there's 2A. Now there's a third person. Right. So it's like, I mean, I think drop zone is definitely kind of like the epicenter of the map.
Eric, is that kind of, I know you don't like drop.
I don't like to drop in the map because it's just it's hard to take it over without making any noise. You always have to make some kind of noise, whether it's a nade or a footstep, and it just gives CTs a way to like counteract. I don't even like Cbble. I don't
like
even
the
opposite. I don't even like Cbble. I don't like the whole map.
You could have skipped that whole explanation. Like, I just don't like this map.
I don't like Cbble. Throw it out. It's instant ban in my book. All right, if you're playing against me ever, I'm banning Cbble. So don't even do research on it.
All right. Well, Bears is giving up critical information for his future Counter-Strike career. We're going to bring a couple other guys who have budding careers. It's Launders and it's Scrawny. How do you guys feel about Pulp and the Orange Juice?
Yeah, I like it about as much as Cobblestone.
Is that why you wear those glasses so everything kind of looks like orange?
Yeah. It's a little bit. It's a off yellow. That's good.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I like it. Excited for the match? More Brazilian Counter-Strike.
Yeah, it's really kind of been the name of the game these last couple of days. So I'm super stoked for this one. I'm excited to see SK on Cobblestone again. I mean, we watched them destroy Liquid. We went see them win yesterday versus Luminosity, and now they get Immortals. So it's kind of cool that we got that domestic derby yesterday, and that we're going to get it again tonight with the better Brazilian team.
Yeah.
So, well, you know, SK were tested, and they've just kind of cranked it up a notch. We'll see if that's enough to topple them, but I personally don't think it is. I mean, they've just been so convincing thus far this season.
Yeah. Now, this is another team that hasn't made a roster change in the off time. That was August. So I think what is interesting is that there was apparently and potentially some turmoil, and there's a lot of rumors surrounding it. And they didn't actually make a roster change, so that's up in the air. It's not necessarily true, but if it was, how much practicing were they doing? Whereas SK, as we mentioned, looked very sharp. You know, they were, I think, prepared well in advance for their first games, and definitely playing a lot of Counter-Strike, probably between the lot of them, depending on who took vacations. I know some people went right into August, like, yeah, can't wait for August, and then ended up just playing Counter-Strike some more. I mean, Stewie was like one of them who was like, I've just been playing more Counter-Strike than ever. Others were like, I have no idea what to do with my life. Like Moses, for example. Yeah. We'll see maybe Immortals, if Immortals were in the same kind of situation.
They are going to get themselves towards that B site already. Smoke to the top side. Lucas ready to come out here. It's KNG to take his place. Taco with 3 quick kills. The USP one-taps are real. Phelps burns alive, but Taco takes another. It's a fiesta on the B site.
Wow. It took him more time to run to B than it took Taco to kill them all. God damn. Oh, so satisfying when you don't have to move, huh? Boop. Oh, later, kid. Peace, nerd. That's what's going through my mind. Yeah. It's different ways.
To BM?
Exactly. Keep it inside, though. Don't express it.
Fallen's going to get aggressive on long A. Flashbang versus the first one down, but then he comes peeking back in for this. He wants to fight.
Oh my god. He's throwing everything.
Dipping, ducking, and dodging. And somehow still standing at the end of this. Obviously, Immortals come into this round with the armor pistoleros and that single scout for Henny.
Moment of silence here. So Immortals figure out what to do next. Fallen hasn't moved. He's been really aggressive. Wow. I mean, he was literally using a smoke to cause a slight distraction just to give him any excuse to peek again because he's got that discipline.
Cross to platform, costs Phelps 70 health. Flashbang goes the other way, allows for him to try and force this fight. Steel just goes charging in with bomb, and it's been dropped. Immortals gonna have to try and retrieve this with 2 players here. The MP9 finds 1, and Henny still looking for another, but he comes up empty-handed. Taco takes the last. That's a flawless conversion from SK.
I wonder if they feel like Immortals have the idea to start off the game moving relatively quickly, and that's why SK want to get in their face right away and shut down any chance that they have to get their feet on the ground and maybe make them feel like they can take control of things. This is some people refer to maps as being momentum-based, and I think that the same conversation is had about teams and Immortals being at the forefront of that conversation, so I'm not sure if that's a specific strategy against them, but it seems to be working anyways.
Sacrificing themselves to the B site is Immortals. KNG gets a TK in the process. SK keep up all 5. So, money being made. And SK sits the 3-0 start. That's fantastic for them. See if these SMGs decide to get aggressive, as they will hang on to 3 of them.
Knowing that, oh, actually, because they just saved so many people, didn't upgrade 3 SMGs, Fallen's op becomes a little bit of a liability. I would try to keep this safe in this round, just because Immortals, if they're able to get it, will obviously use it. And that's Henny's comfort zone as a superstar opper. Oh, a lot of counter nades coming out of B-plat as Lucas tries to squeeze his way out.
Fallen's already boosted inside counter. Lucas finds Phelps first and foremost, but Fallen falls back as he finds another. Lucas able to create more space, but the CTs are still here. And Lucas is going to shut them down. Great plays from him so far, but there's still 2 SK players up. One of which on site, the second nowhere nearby. Fallen.
Oh.
Crosses to the rock, takes some shots, and sits on 37, but the flashbangs go way up in the air, and now he tries to duel, but Lucas, he's having none of it. The MP9 of Fur, not long for the distance, so Immortals find a round.
Damn, I'd like a second look at that. Lucas at the 4 headshots, all 1-taps. I don't think he sprayed a single time that round. And entering hard. Yeah, there's one, and we'll see. I don't think he bothered holding down on mouse 1. Easy stuff for him. Good play overall, and again, you know, even through the 2 grenades initially, as well as a Molotov in front of him, able to find his place in the madness. This time around, going to be throwing a little bit to bait out a strong reaction, because now SK are aware of the fact that they were very comfortable coming out long B. KNG with the op gets Phelps actually trying to get aggressive on B-plat. As soon as I feel like he realized that there wasn't going to be anyone coming up that quickly. Fallen already. Not even aggressive at A, actually just defending.
Now mirroring their performance versus Liquid, we find SK in the double op setup immediately in the 4th round. The moment they can afford it, they go for it. We'll see if either of those ops can find some kills here now. coldzera gets burned into the open, but takes one with him. Him and Bolt's able to trade back. Taco finding 1, but Steel's able to trade, and Fallen gets in position in time, leaving it all just down to KNG. Now he has got this cover of the smoke here. CT's to reposition, but Fur's already on his backside, and it's a blind side. Almost costs him, but the leg shot's just not enough. 15 HP the difference, and an immediate reset versus Immortals.
Solid attempt at a very difficult flick there in the 1v2. And versus Fallen in that op, Fallen would have had to either look for another rifle to come back into that 1v1 or go toe-to-toe versus a player that could be anywhere. SK very fortunate to win that, to keep with 2 people alive so they can recover both of their very expensive guns. And it's funny, they use Taco on B, and as great of a player Taco is, Taco's op on B hasn't always been that effective. It is kind of difficult to get a multi-frag on the B site with an op versus executes, but usually goes and gets 1 and maybe 2. As we saw, just in general, is probably feeling pretty good because of that pistol round. But now we move into this round. Immortals have decided to buy one more time, a couple of pistols, but a fast B hit.
Yeah, again, just hammering into the B zone. Phelps up close, falls first, but Taco burns 1 to a crisp and then plucks bolts to the backside. Still a 4v3, but a single AK in hand, now just chucked behind. It's gonna come down to the pistols. Deagle of Lucas connects, and then the CZ next. All of a sudden, we're down into a 2 versus 2. And Hen1's got his hands on an AK. He chucks that over to Lucas, who can't actually grab it right away. Fires on the Deke, Hen with another, and Taco's got to clutch this. 1 versus 2. As Immortals split, 1 plat, 1 coupe. And both of which are lit. But Taco, not gonna fancy his chances. So he tucks tail instead, heads over to the A site, and it's going to be Immortals to find a round. Now flipping that reset on its head and forcing SK into economic struggle.
And even with the utmost patience, cutting off an angle, decides to fall back. And Lucas actually does find an op in drop down, so that's a big win for Immortals on top of actually pulling the round out. And we have the fallback, couple of kills, almost 3 there. Good attempt. And just as I was kind of criticizing his play at B, he does have one of his better rounds, unfortunately, in a situation where they lose. And now it's SK to answer back with a buy of their own, recognizing that Immortals are a wounded beast, have spent a lot of money on that previous round, and even though they got a plant in 1, only kept 2 alive, and we have to spend quite a bit.
Looks like Fallen wants to shut things down, but
he knows what he's doing.
Yeah. You think he knows this game well?
Oh, yes. Oh, yep. Oh, yep. Yeah, he picked that angle perfectly. Like, he's just so disciplined, man.
With that flashbang, the T's get pinned in. Fallen allows for the crossback as a couple shots go wide, but he does still have a man locked to the corner. Taco gonna now get aggressive here. Taco, the type of player where if you tell him what to do, he'll follow orders through and through. I think that's what makes him such a great teammate. Obviously, Fallen loves to praise him.
It's all those notes he's been taking.
It's very important. Look at DeBears.
Look at Scrawny.
Shh, don't tell them my secret.
Try hard. A setup very strong right now. Calcified defense, no one moving. All their angles covered. And it's going to be up to Immortals to cause a reaction. Not in all setups, but a lot. There's just the onus on the terrorists to get the opening kill with a crazy shot, and then if the setup's good enough, the trade becomes favorable for the CTs. coldzera falling back, though, in the situation. For some reason, they thought it was B. Whoever it was, Lucas, was able to sell a fake. Very powerful stuff.
Fur's got a chance to fire off, but then Hen catches him up close. Fallen swinging it back with 1 as the Taco op connects. But now another 1v2 on the table for the young gun. He's going to try to find an angle. Would love for a 1v1, but Hen 1's actually going to try to just push behind the door. Could be the execution, has gotten out, and the AK spray connects. So Immortals able to shift their attention towards that A site for the first time in this half, and already add that round to the board.
Yeah, Immortals taking a great amount of time there to pick A to go to. And here, Fur had the opportunity to not only stop the plant, but completely deny the round. There would have been no time to pick it up, as we see the next man to be able to get there was so far from the site. It's only like 8 to 10 seconds left. Would have been a bit too late, and now SK are on a full save. They were stacked up in A, ready for it, but bit hard on the fake. With just Lucas there, prodding at B.
Ooh. Where'd you go?
You didn't see me.
This will tell Fallen that he has indeed been spotted, but he's got no one to bail him out, so odds of survival are slim.
Oh.
Although he gets the dink off. Meanwhile, Henny starts to execute into the B site. Off of the CZ, he's able to take 2. Fur responds with his pistol, and he actually drops the bomb off on top of that, but the flank comes in and it connects. Immortals will find 4, but at least SK putting up a fight here.
Yeah, and that's all they really want to do. So we can see the couple of rebuys are going to take a chunk of change out of the economy of Immortals, and this half is far from over, so economy is still a very, very big factor. Do we have anyone with a kit? Am I missing this?
No kits.
No one's got a kit.
They're not going to lose the sight launders.
That's the most confident play to make. I mean, if you really believe you're going to win, why buy a kit, right?
Fallen's got a smoke in hand, and there are T's here. Spots the feet and will fall back. Lucas gives chase. Fallen gives back, connects through the smoke onto KNG. Meanwhile, Fur drops Henny off of lower A. That's 2 quick kills on Immortals' attempt to push in. And Fallen, he's hungry for more. Gets closer to the door where Bolts is on the other side. Smoke, plumes, off, retrieved. But that's a bit of a sound cue. So the spam comes back and does tag him slightly. He's not locked into this fight, and Fur gives him some cover fire on the retreat, but the T does go forward. Steel could catch him.
Oh, there was a chance there. Fallen missing a very important shot. Is there a man? Fur is actually now watching long as Fallen peers down the ramp into a group of terrorists. Smoke actually goes down. Interesting spot. Taco picks up the slack, and Steel answers back. 1v3.
Peppering off to the top of ramp. There's where SK take it. So we get that moment where, you know, Fallen and Fur are able to clear out the A site for the most part. That initial push gets pushed back. Immortals not deciding to go all the way back to the B site, but instead look to re-engage and to clear those portions out a second time. Almost gives them this like false confidence that the players on the A site have fallen further back than they really did. Because the moment they come out the door, they're met with aggression, and SK then close out the round then and there.
The deep part about SK is that they're so good at knowing when to re-aggress, when to call out plays like that. They do it to every single team, and it just shows how much confidence they have. And obviously, you know, if you do that at the wrong time, you just get punished for it. But in that situation, we're able to come out ahead, no problem. Looking very safe, keeping Immortals very far from the site. And, just as we talked about, didn't need a kid to win it. In no danger of allowing a plant. Long B control, a very passive way, as Steel has been given drop. This is a very interesting setup from SK.
We talk about how drop down can counter the man on boost, and that's exactly where Phelps is standing.
Yeah, he could get peeked right now. I mean,
Zera and Taco here to cover. Very clustered defense, but down goes Phelps regardless. And then Steel just gets back into the safety of that corner. Taco sprays wildly, coldzera executes one, but then the B site crumbles at the feet of Immortals. Fallen and Fur, nowhere to be found.
Bomb has been planted.
Never thought I'd say this, but I think coldzera just made a mistake. Being the man to watch long B, actually had a better angle to watch it than Taco did, and Taco could have watched drop for him from Pizza, which is a very common spot to watch drop. Maybe didn't expect people were going to be coming through that smoke as quickly or as slowly as they did, and so turned around. But after getting that first kill, maybe almost certainly should have just focused on long B. Super tight setup, and they didn't have all of their options covered. No one to even pick up drop, and Steel was given a free opportunity to get a kill.
At least both of those guns are moved forward with armor, kits, and utilities.
But now they're in a very awkward position. Do they just want to eco behind these? Not a lot to spend on. Let's see. Cold actually gets killed from behind, maybe.
Yeah, he did. He had to answer back once we see Phelps removed from tree side. Of course, it is still SK able to afford here. Triple UMP. But Immortals have gotten themselves into a really prime spot. Still a very close game. Even though we've seen very immediate resets versus SK. I mean, 3 of their 5 rounds come from the pistol and following conversions.
That's true.
Each time they win a gun round, Immortals just send their money packing.
He's going to have to flick up to hit this or look to dodge a flash.
Instead, he practically eats it.
Yeah.
We saw Immortals take drop down for relatively free. That's where Steel was able to find Phelps off the tree, so we'll see if that can happen yet again. As he does get himself up close, the flash goes down. coldzera as well, dropped to the gun of Steel. He's able to creep his way to the site. Full flash, Taco down for the count. And Fallen and Phelps responding back already. Phelps actually able to get down below, but the AK of KNG's not enough. It's Bolts to trade it back. And a 2-on-2 ensues with Fur unsure as to where this man's coming in from. It's right by his side. Bolts hammers it in. And that leaves Fallen to clutch, not Taco this time.
Oh, spotting a player.
The shot goes wide. There's a man to his backside. Here's the drop, and it's not enough of a warning. Bolts coming in big with some kills towards the end. That's Immortals in the lead.
Solid B hit there. coldzera pushing in front of this flash, thinking if I don't get flashed, I have a good chance now. Steel, once again, getting that entry, and also killing Taco here, who I think after he B-hopped out of the site was completely blind. Seeming like their B has become quite exploitable, even in a couple of setups now. Nades don't do any damage. KNG with the MAC-10, very little to lose.
Just throwing himself into these grenades, really ensuring that he can push forward. Taco's gonna get pinned in. Lots of frags going the way of the Immortals. So as it should have gone, the way of Immortals with their weaponries. Fur, of course, tries to find the exit. Does catch Henny in the open. That's a pistol v pistol. And a headshot connects. An op for Fur. So not just damage dealt with Immortals losing 3 of their players, but if Fur can hang on to this cannon, that's a serious prize for his efforts.
Really difficult to get your ducks in a row in a situation like that where somebody just runs into you, but times his reaction perfectly, hits that headshot. And it doesn't look like they're going to challenge him for this op. It's a big find. Immortals, however, up to 7 to 5. And SK, in terms of money, I don't know where we're at exactly. Holds his ground, readjusts, good headshot.
Cracks it.
Yep, the buy does come out. 3 rifles versus 4.
Looks like they're just gonna forward themselves straight in. KNG with a falling headshot to coldzera. He actually gets himself into drop down already. Steel with another frag. This is Immortals across the kill feed. Taco able to take it back with 1, and he dinks up onto Steel. Molotov blocks off Highway, but the smoke blocks his line of sight. So he's gonna get up close, takes damage furthermore, sits on 14, great kill. Knows there's a man in smoke, but Bolts covers his bomb planter. And it's fallen to clutch yet again. Bolts to the other side of the boxes. Fallen patient here. Has no kit, but he does have an opening. Smoke grenade allows the cross. He wants that AK. He takes it. Steel incredibly tagged, but almost gets the kill. Fallen closes the gap, and he takes the headshot and the round for SK, picking up a kit in the process. Very well done. Finally, SK are able to close out one of those clutch moments.
Yeah. When clutch finally goes their way. I actually wonder why Steel peaked like that when he came out this way with such low HP. I mean, only 1 bullet. If you do have the opportunity to trap someone while they're holding W, that's always really good, because again, super hard to counter-strafe in that situation, but it wasn't into a headshot angle, which he would have liked, and Fallen also had a ton of HP to make sure that he hit at least 1 bullet. Would have been difficult to try to bait his attention from around the rectangle, saw an opportunity, tried to take it. Henny actually out-ops Fallen. That's a big deal. We see the op recovered. The M4 is thrown back onto plat. Just 2 players up on B.
Great flash to the eyes of Lucas. Still able to get closer to the site. There's 2 of SK's men in position, one of which is Taco. Up close on the cannon, spots it and takes it down. Man to the top side now revealed, and Cold will find Bolts. Flashbangs continue to pop, but as do the heads of all players. coldzera swapping to the sidearm, saves the day. Or at least he almost does. It's Phelps to save himself. Lucas now to reaggress, spraying and connecting onto Fur. 2v2. 50 seconds left as both teams just pump the brakes. Lucas finds another opening, and it's all on Phelps. Very low health and an op in hand. He's just going to creep his way around this corner. Very wary of his other side, and that could cost him.
Oh, is he going to push all the way through?
Or is he just going to wait?
Oh, they spam. I don't know if they saw. They might have saw him. I'm not sure.
Game sense.
Game sense. It could be game sense. It's a very high likelihood of that, in fact.
That, Mr. Mohan. Why are you laughing? That's your name.
I guess. Oh, they did. They saw us,
right.
but yeah, not game sense.
So that now marks the third reset versus SK. We're talking 1 round versus the 3 of Immortals. 1 round to SK, and then 3 to Immortals.
And each of those 3 rounds was a reset because of B hit.
My goodness. Immortals putting up a very serious half. Again, half of these rounds from SK are the pistol inconsequent conversions. So, can they overwhelm the pistols yet again? Lucas can't. He gets pushed back with 12 health, but Bolts, well, he adds a couple kills to the shelf. Lots of spam going out here. I mean, how often have SK stacked players inside the nooks and crannies of this bomb site, trying to fight their way from the drop down? So much damage to SK's favor. 2 frags as well, but Steel, he sprays for 2, and Fallen finds another. Lucas incredibly hit, and his teammate nowhere to be found.
Oh, I mean, it's last round, yeah. Just looking for a new way back into the site. 2 HP. Lucas has found a brand new place to sit. Will Fallen clear it? Doesn't look like he will. Shot in the side. Round over. Immortals with 9.
6-9 the scoreline as Immortals turn things back and actually control SK, not only in a fact of the matter with the score, but also with their aggression. A lot of plays that we saw SK use earlier this week were not afforded. We're going to see if they can find some success on the T half after a brief break in between halves.
ESL Pro League is brought to you in part by Intel, the City of Odense, GeForce GTX, Lenovo Legion, Bedway, Pay Safeguard, Logitech G, Mountain Dew League, Xfinity, and ESEA.
A very versatile Immortals end up coming out on top of that one. Again, a substantial lead over top of SK following their T side, but 9-6 on the T side of Cobblestone. I'd say once upon a time, and arguably now, that's pretty par for the course.
Yeah, definitely. Pretty par for the course. There was definitely a lot of good things to say about the way they played that half out, the way that they tried to go for A control. They spent just enough time on each site, and their B hits were quite innovative. And I think that that pressure caused a lot of problems for SK. I don't want to say they were scared. There were a couple of missteps, I think, by both maybe Cold and Taco in the site being a little bit too fluid in situations where they needed to focus on drop or focus on long B. But in spite of that, Taco actually having 120 ADR, actually monster performance, and Fallen looking extremely confident, gotta say.
Yeah, and what blows my mind is that despite him looking that confident, he was not going for that like extra confident play style that we saw versus Luminosity last night, right? There was no crazy long A flanks going on with the AWP in the middle of gun rounds. We only saw that counter boost into drop down a single time from him. Those were the kinds of, you know, like overzealous plays that he was making that allowed for SK to have that extra level of success earlier this week. I feel like Immortals did curb SK in a lot of ways and kind of force their hands to play more passive, like Luminosity did on Inferno yesterday.
Fast A play. Ooh, Lucas gets a tip. Is that the bomb shown as well? Yeah, it is, but they're actually running back. I think they maybe wanted to, well, first of all, either clear out forward A, but then let them know that they had the bomb there and the intention to go to A. So for now, we've actually attracted some CTs into fortifying the site. And again, this rotate is a long time. No, not from A to B, but from long A to long B, for sure.
Bolts to the boulder. T side to the B site.
Ooh.
But it's Henny who's able to open up. Steel finds one as well. It's Immortals to the kill feed, and SK to the ground, but Fallen doubles down and now leaves Taco 1v3. As they offered up a side of Immortals, and he hits the gush. Both players now dinked, but KNG's got enough. He hits the headshot and takes Immortals to double digits.
Just wanted to do it for the ADR, this couple of last headshots. And almost a recovery in that situation, but solid hold from the three players that were the two players that were actually at B, as Immortals had one on rotate, two dedicated to long A. Those guys would have taken a sweet while to get there to help out once the bomb had gone down, if it did come to that. So very important that they were diligent in their rotate. Now just a little bit of B control and Olaf smoke to stir a reaction.
Frag grenade could do a lot of damage, but they all spread out. Steel to the half wall. Spraying off the MP9, and Lucas, he's actually going to force this fight. Drops the bomb in the process and taps for the next one, but he's taken down. That's Fallen, at least with one frag. But that one frag's all SK's got.
And those numbers will add up in anti-ecos. So, because of that, now SK have only a couple of upgraded pistols. I don't know if everybody will, but with 1900 across the board, it seems like they have a plan of action for how to use the money they have left to spend. Immortals, 3 MP9s, are going to look to farm. Actually, everybody here will be happy to take a frag.
Give me that moolah. Ooh, bomb dropped, and follow-up shot. Nicely done. Oh! Oh, another! Only Cold Zera's left over. Give him the ace. That's what you get when you try to take it. Denied. Cold Zera, it's a matter of time before he dies. There we have it. Steal. Even with Henny right there.
No shame.
Man. Look at this USP.
Stuff.
Done. So, we get the pistol out of the way. We see the conversion points from Immortals. They've gotten the 3-0 start and the doubled scoreline of their Brazilian brethren.
Nothing short of a genocide. In this map. The counter boost is forfeited, actually. I think the Molly top drop. Was that a defensive Molly from the terrorists? I didn't actually get good eyes on that, but either way, fur falls off.
Lucas. Just clothesline spell.
Driving up his body with him.
Goes backflipping off of the staircase. We're Immortals 5v3 already.
Immortals are ready to lose this round.
Yeah, the only investment was really that AWP. And even that pans out. Coldzera skewered to the side of drop down. My goodness. SK, where have you gone?
You just fully expect until the game's over that SK will win. But this time around, it seems like it's actually getting away from them. Especially telling when it's a round where the other team has 3 SMGs and are just building bank on top of this.
What's wild is that they've already retrieved the double AKs, and if/when they are able to finish off SK, that could be a full arsenal of rifles for absolutely free. If that economy gets rolling, it's exactly what you need to really lock things down on CT Cbble. Molotovs, frags, all the trimmings.
Chicken dinner. The bomb's been forfeited. They didn't see it, though. Ooh.
Man, SK are getting rocked.
Additional salt, yeah. Hate to put it so frankly, but it's true. And yeah, there it is.
So,
ran up his body like a tractor.
SK have that one AK moving forward, belonging to Taco. Immortals taking a page out of SK's book, going for that counter boost early on, and then the double op setup as soon as possible. Henny takes 2. These poor pistols have no chance in the world.
Not a chance in heck. 1B control, why not?
Get out of my way. Tries to retreat. It's blocking the windowsill. Fur is able to retrieve that AK, but now it's all that's left. KNG on A finds another kill. Fur's just left scratching his head.
Fortunately, SK were thinking about next round already. I mean, that's the only thing they have going for them at this moment. But, Fur? Oh, what? Moves off his off angle for a second, and there he is, bolts to appear with the spray. And this, I mean, this is just like repeak after repeak after repeak. This is something Fallen will not do, ever. It will never just simply repeak. Wait for a flash, throw a flash out of his zone, try to shoulder peek first. When Henny's feeling it, he's a little bit more careless, that's for sure.
Yeah, stylistically a very different AWP player.
Well, like one's better and one's not as good.
Yeah, stylistically. So SK come in with a buy. Poor Taco's got just that D.
Oh.
Deep frag.
Left or right, fall in.
Does soften him up. Molotov not going to burn them out. As Fallen goes above, he drops bolts. And both players cross back.
That flick almost gave me whiplash. Follow that.
Fur's able to afford himself some drop control, but the problem is they still have platform to deal with. So Fur, at a distance, misses the shot. And it's still a 5v4 on SK's favor, but ooh, now it looks good. A crucial kill.
Yeah, that kind of made up for it. Ooh, KNG. Good opportunity to get a kill. Fallen, though, capitalizing. 2 up for Immortals, both on the B site, however.
Lucas can still get over towards site, though. They've lost platform, but they've still got some control on site. Henny through the boulder, takes down Fallen, and another. So it's down to Taco, who comes up with 2 op shots of his own. A solid round for SK added to the board, but it's still a doubled score in the favor of Immortals.
Critical op frags from both Fallen and Taco. The alternative op brothers to Henny, and actually, I think, was Lucas opping in that round? Or it might have been KNG, actually.
He definitely had it behind the boxes, but I don't know if he picked that up.
Yeah.
Either way, lots of op presence in that last round. Immortals still able to hang on to 2 of those cannons.
These long B interactions have been intense. Counter nade, no damage. Taco's out though. We've unleashed him. He's looking for a kill. Oh, he wants this fight, but Bolts is fine with that.
See if Steel can hold the windowsill. Fallen gets significantly hit up. Fur wants to remove this man. Oof. Well, with Taco down, coldzera takes his place. Bolt sprays away. Oh, and he hits it. Catches it on the cross. Now this is Immortals down to the 4v4. Hen 1's still inside of Chicken Coop. But that bomb from SK is nowhere to be found. They're going to leave coldzera over here alone.
SK are going to lose this whole map if they lose this round. There's no way they have money. Down to one last round. Won that last round. Uh-oh.
KNG connects. Fallen removed. Lucas still aware of this flank. Henny removed off the backside. KNG is going to feel the pressure, and his shot doesn't hit. Steel trying to bail him out here as the smoke provides cover. Phelps drops the bomb in the open, and there's no time for Fur. He's done for. Immortals secure OT with an 8-point lead. This is unexpected.
Was this team in danger of dying? Was that really an actual possibility at some point? They have shown they definitely have it right now. They are playing unbelievably well, not allowing SK to breathe whatsoever.
This is a major finalist.
This is a major finalist. Yeah. Have SK gotten to a final they haven't won? Yeah.
Yeah.
Just thought I'd throw out this Hail Mary statistic, just in case.
There's that one UMP for coldzera. He's going to have to be the playmaker in this round. He's got utility to couple that gun. He's been able to get himself into drop down. Steel on the very same angle. Starts to move, and it costs him. That's big. coldzera immediately jumps outwards and upgrades to the M4. Now, there is still no smokes for SK, but he's got that single flash. It could serve as the trigger to a flooding of terrorists. Right now, SK look like they might just try to fake this out on B. They've got 2 players on drop, 1 long. Smart. Putting the M4 in the hands of Fur so that he can move it over towards the A site and really doubling into this. It's going to leave coldzera on the lurk, but Lucas, he sits behind the cannons. T's start to line up, but he goes down. KNG needs to hold off, and he's going to get shanked. Phelps slashes him wide open, and coldzera comes in with the lurk. They've done it. They've at least given themselves some wiggle room moving forward.
Yeah, I mean, wow, it's kind of sad that it had to end up like this. I mean, if Immortals, I mean, we're still very far from anything crazy happening, but dying at cannons there with a rifle, good spot to get a couple of kills, if not all of them, and all this damage done by Bolts. SK are chasing, but they only had 1 alive last round. 5 on this one, on their busted eco round with barely anything to work with.
Slices the Achilles heel. Can run, but you can't hide, Launders. The quadruple op. 2 per side.
You can jump, but you can't pulse.
And one's able to open up. Fallen again losing an op duel.
Another duel.
Move over, old man. That's what he's thinking.
I'm DMing him out.
That's what he's thinking. I mean, how many times do you successfully pick Fallen? You've got to feel confident on that. Stylistically.
He will know about this.
Oh no. I'm over. I'm done for.
It's two people that won't be at a Brazilian major.
Yeah. Very stacked B site here for Immortals.
Big to have this opening kill, though. No matter who it is, just having that 5v4. It's forcing SK to be more aggressive, and Bolt's in a pretty good spot here. I like that they're maintaining long B control aggressively. Furkill's the only 8 player, however, 40 seconds remaining. There's options. However, Fur's actually running back to B, and I think they might maybe pull a rotate out of the site if they wait long enough.
Taco's just crouching around the corner. Bolts will pull the trigger. And he knows there's more here. Bomb just thrown to the wayside. 4 versus 2. Bolts has no need to peek this. He can just distract the whole night long. Fur finally removes him and baits out that shot. Sprays to steal. Great kill.
Nuts.
But that's Immortals regardless. Taking the W.
The W. In a big way, too.
Yeah, very, very convincing, especially on a map that we've seen SK win all week long. Again, in a very convincing fashion. So it's not as though that was, you know, turned into a grind fest. That was pure Immortals all the way through.
A lot of exploits at B. Solid rifle rounds and changing it up. Good A control, and then a solid CT side to follow it up.
Yeah, I still can't help but feel like those resets on the first half definitely helped the Immortals establish themselves, and then once they had that lead, they just ran away with it. We'll see if the experts have any insight of their own. Moses, let's see what these guys got.
Yeah, that was not bad from Immortals at all, was it? They just run all over SK, making them look very mortal. And that, I mean, just swarming out of this Immortals team. This is exactly what we saw at the major. Those B hits on the cobble, the resets that they just mentioned right there at the end. This was a full package game out of Immortals.
Bulldozed. Their bulldozing company just ran over SK.
Like the Mag 7 skin.
Like,
Bulldozer.
Oh, yeah?
Isn't that an MP9 skin?
It is. Look at you.
Yeah.
Well done.
I know
It's
my
both.
skins.
It's both.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah, that was crazy. I think Immortals are they're peaking everything, playing super aggressive. I love it.
Yeah, and that's kind of what they came known for. Is that
It's one of the
great
few
fucking
times. Sorry to interrupt you, Jason.
No, you're good. Go
I just
on.
want to get my point. It's one of the few times SK just got completely out-aimed. It seemed like Immortals was peaking every angle, as you said, that they possibly could, and just out-shooting SK. That's pretty rare.
Yeah, but I mean, it was one thing we mentioned in the pregame was how talented and how skilled this Immortals roster is. They have players who can certainly, you know, take those play that kind of a play style and come out victorious for it. Regardless, is that how we're going to paint this one? Is Immortals playing it excellent, or is it more SK looking a little bit sloppy in areas?
I think Immortals played this really well. I think in second at this major, just hand them a big spark of confidence, you know, like sometimes, I mean, they didn't win, but it's all you need to put your team just that much higher and in high level play.
We'll talk about this as well, because yeah, SK might have been a little bit sloppy, but this is an area in which it was great for them.
So SK is one of the small things of their teamwork. As you see, Paulin waits for that flash to peak. He's so patient, and this is the small things that SK consistently happens on all maps where they wait for the teamwork, they have communication, and it's just like you don't see a lot of that in lower end teams. Like for example, I'm not saying it's lower end, but Shazam, he'd probably peaked that 3-4 times without a flashbang. But Fallen, waiting for his teammates, waiting for the smart play, and it's consistent in and throughout that they do that, and I love it.
Yeah, really, really good stuff, obviously, in that play. But also, I mean, we saw that trademark aggression. I mean, we couldn't see that out of SK too much on that half because, like I think it was Launders or Scrawny, the resets of the economy, they had so many weak buys in that first half, which was crazy. They could never really they could never really get rolling. This was an area as well. Henny, his aggression, you know, on this map was very impressive.
Yeah, so Fallen, I mean, this is a super standard way of playing long A. You know, you give a little shoulder peek on the sliver at long A at the barn room and then throw a smoke, fall back. That peek getting in the line of fire by King V, not necessary. And then Henny pushes through mid here and dies to Fur. Like, completely unnecessary. You know, you got this is the round that kind of made me question whether or not the teamwork was on par on Immortals, because to be honest with you, I want to go back to the narrative we're talking about, like, oh, Immortals looks good after the major, feeling confident. I honestly think that this was more SK not playing as well as they can. Like, I don't think that SK, I don't think they pulled out everything this map. I think that Immortals, I think it's easy to play aggressive, right? It's kind of like, it's more mentally taxing for a person who may have had like some team problems to play slow, right? Methodical. I think playing aggressive is a lot easier for anybody. Okay. So I'm not sure if I'm going to close the book on some potential upheaval in the Immortals roster yet, yet.
Yeah, well, I mean, we saw that first match against Team Liquid. SK looked like they'd come into it off the break a little bit rusty. Maybe this is some remnants of that still early on in the season, obviously. Another one, I mean, this is one of the good things, again, we saw out of SK. Some of that methodical play, some of that teamwork. We always mention, you know, this system that Fallen constructed and how well they all play together. This is a clip, Eric, that highlights just that.
Actually, it was James. It was James. But,
yeah, I think I picked this one out. So this is, yeah, I picked this one out. So this is one of the only rounds that SK get on their T side. I think they get 2 rounds in total. But it's basically Immortals peeking everything, and I think SK handles this round really well. You see kind of like 2 pairs of Ts working together in duos. And if you were to rewatch this round, you can see them, you know, communicating really well in like quick aim battles. And I really enjoy watching this round, taking drop in response to Immortals' long B pressure. And then Fur's just going to do his thing in drop zone. Like, you want to use somebody like Fur who has aim and a lot of smarts to take drop zone, right? Because you don't want to be telling him what to do. You want to let him use his own discretion on how to do it. And I think if you saw SK kind of play every round with this kind of signature, I think the match would have been closer and might have even gone in the other way.
Is it something to be said, though, that Immortals, with the kind of style, the success they were having in some of those aim battles and the kind of aggressiveness they opened up, just kind of throw SK out of their game, throw them a little bit off?
Absolutely. Yeah, everyone's felt that, right? It's like, I can't even do what I want to do. But I feel like SK knows what they could have done. I don't know. I don't really know what happened here.
Eric?
I think it was a little taken back because when you're at the top, you know, for so long, teams are probably play a little more cautious. They're going to be, as you said, more methodical. But Immortals, they didn't care.
Yeah, they just came out and hit them in the mouth.
They just came out. They just aim battled them. Something that SK's probably were a little surprised and caught off guard that someone, you know, have zero fear of them. You know, just no fear.
That's actually, yeah, I mean, that's a really
big
good
balls.
point.
Well, yeah, love those, don't we? Either way, we're going to head to a quick break. We're going to get a glass of orange juice, and we'll see you after the break. It was Train to start the day. It's going to be Train to end it. Stay tuned.